I started on your measurements, and we've got your waist was around 26 inches if we'd made that tape measure straight, and then your butt was around 34, and you said that right above that was 31, so it's gonna transfer from 26 to 34 inches. So I'm gonna take the pattern and I'm gonna kind of give it a size 10, and I'm gonna customize it just a little bit. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. And I'm gonna trace it onto some pattern paper that I bought. Good, I'll use this dress form ruler for straight edges and curves, but I'm good enough at it now that I usually just freehand over. And then I just make sure to mark where the darts are, and I mark which part of the pattern it is so that I make sure that I get the cuts right. Now I've got all of your pieces cut out. There's 6 of them. And then I still have that pattern to make whatever other sizes I want as well. Frankly, I did pre-wash the fabric, so you can see how everything's frayed on the edges. I did it on hot water and dried it hot to make sure it's pre-shrunk for you, so that we don't have any size issues. So here it is, all cut up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. I've got the interfacing to do still. One thing that I do, get one of these. Don't use scissors. I don't bother pinning anything. I've got all this done from start to now in about 40 minutes. I actually put these little clips on the wall. Supposedly they don't leave any residue when I take them off. But then I can display the pattern instructions just right over where I'm sewing to double check my work. And then as I get... So the big thing with darting is that you want to go to the dot, but you don't want to stop at the dot. You want to go past it. Otherwise it can pucker up. So I'm just going to do this one-handed. We'll see how it works. I might have to unstitch it. You go all the way to that dot and then just keep going past it like that. That's all you got to do. All I did after that, I let it go out about 3 inches. I just pulled out the thread, and then you tie a double knot right at the end. And then when you open it up, instead of having it bunch and look all funky, it just makes a nice seam at the end. This is really hard one-handed. And then it looks perfect. So I'm going to be fraying the edges. This is the front overlay. On the pattern it looks like that. So since I'm going to be fraying them on purpose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a really narrow zigzag stitch and go all the way across a 1/2 inch on the pattern, so that it doesn't go past that when I'm pulling all your threads. Edges, all you have to do is take those threads and peel them out one at a time. This is actually the lengthiest part of this whole skirt. It's probably gonna take me 45 minutes or so to get these sprayed. The interfacing for these grommets right here, the pattern says that you need interfacing to go right here, and the only reason you use that is to make it thicker. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take another piece of denim, I'm going to put it on there, and I'm actually going to use the Stitch Witch, the fusible fabric glue stuff. So I got that ironed on, and then I took just an X-Acto knife, and I just cut a little X in there. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's not going to go farther than that, because you want to put the grommet in and you want the denim to stretch around. Try and get it on there so you can see that it's going to have to stretch to get on there. And then when I put the back end of the grommet on there, it's going to make it really secure, and you're not going to have any frayed edges. All right, so I've got the pieces of the grommet. It has a little plastic shield kind of thing, and then that goes on there. You slip it around the front of the grommet there. And then this tool came with the grommets at Joann's. It's like $6 for the whole kit. Right in. So this is the part that you really wanted to see. So what I've done is I've done a normal stitch for the lower half of the skirt. This is on the back. I took the 2 pieces that I had darted, I put them together. So I've got from right here, this marking right here, which is about 7 inches down. I've done a normal stitch here, and I back stitched to reinforce and back stitched to reinforce. Then up here I did a machine based, which is just a longer stitch. It'll come out easier, and I'm gonna end up pulling it out. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay this flat, and this is how you're gonna get your zipper to be invisible. I'm gonna iron this down flat, And then I'm gonna sew the zipper in between there while it's still stitched together. I'm gonna sew it in using my zipper foot, and I'll try and get someone to film me on that. And then I'm gonna remove that base stitching, but what that's gonna do is gonna make the zipper disappear as I zip it up. This is how it's gonna look when I sew it on. I'm putting the stop 3/4 of an inch so that when I make my, when I add your inside, that's going to fold over at the 3/4 inch line. That's going to come right up to the top when you zip it up. It's going to be a nice snug fit at the top of your waist. So I'm unzipping it. I'm going to use my zipper foot on my sewing machine. I'm going to zip both sides of this, and I'm going to undo the base. All right, so I did the sewing on it. I just used the zipper foot on one side, turned it around to the zipper foot on the other side. It's right where the basting stitch is on the outside. I started it with it unzipped. When I got down to here, I zipped it up, and then I did the other side all the way down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to remove the baste stitch, which is just the little stitch that I had done, and it'll be a really good zipper for you. Here it is with the baste stitch removed. All I did was just take a seam ripper right down that seam, and I'm going to try and unzip it real fast to show you. It's beautifully just barely not there. And it unzips nicely, doesn't get caught on anything.